Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today marks day one of your girl's retinoid journey. Yes, I have decided to tiptoe on into the world of retinoids. You know, after sunscreen, retinoids are like the next best thing when it comes to anti-aging, no matter who you're talking to. So I decided to give it a try because you know your girl is progressing and I'm looking for all the help I can get. So I decided to start my retinoid journey with the Ordinary's Retinol 0.2% in Squalane. And I just want to talk about this, talk about retinoids, talk about why. Let's just talk. All right, guys, so I think the best way to go about this video is talk about retinoids, where retinol falls as far as retinoids, talk about why I chose the Ordinary product, and then kind of go from there. So this is not going to be a review on this product. Honestly, guys, this is more like the first impression slash before the documentation, the day one of the journey. I really think it's important, especially something that's talked about as retinoids, to be able to show you really what it does. I don't want to come on here and just be like, oh, I like the formula, oh, it felt nice. I want you to be able to see, you see and me see, like I'm barefaced so that we can see what it looks like before, check in, and see what it looks like after. So I really want to be able to document this journey, and that's what this video is all about. It's pretty much the starting point. So we're going to talk about it, get a good look at this, and then we'll kind of check in at a later date, and then kind of give some final thoughts later on. So let's talk about my understanding of retinoids, where retinol falls in retinoids, and why, and the benefits of a retinoid. So it's my understanding that there's an umbrella, there's a plethora of retinoids underneath that, and retinoids are a form of vitamin A. Now, the benefits of using any type of retinoid, which no matter which one it is that basically retinoids trick the skin into thinking it's more younger than it is. Making the skin feel a little bit more youthful and basically making it act like it used to. So speeding up some things. So it's going to speed up it helps boost collagen production, you know, which helps with the wrinkles and the lines and all that kind of stuff. And then it helps kind of speed up turnover, which kind of helps with the whole discoloration and the dullness and uneven skin tone and things like that. And it also kind of helps with the pores and keeping them taut and tight and all that good stuff. So, you know, as we age, things tend to slow down, you know, and kind of get a little slower. And so that's what the great thing about this, about retinoids, is that it kind of helps speed things back up to where you can see some of that improvement and keep that skin looking as youthful as possible, you know. So that's why I was all about it, because I'm like, yes, I need all of the things. All of the things. So I'm really excited about starting with this. So now when it comes to retinoids, my understanding is the gold standard of your retinoids is your retinoic acid, because that's what the body immediately recognizes and puts to work. Now, right now, you can only get retinoic acid for the prescription, and that includes things like the tretinoid and all that kind of stuff, but that's only prescription. Now, when it comes to over the counter, the difference in those, depending on which one you get, is that it's not retinoic acid. There's some conversion that needs to take place. So depending on which retinoid you use that's over the counter, you're either going to have one conversion step or you might have several. When it comes to retinol, retinol takes two conversion steps. So when you put it on your skin, the first thing that the body does is turn it into retinaldehyde. Then it turns it into retinoic acid, and then it puts it to work. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're kind of deciding which one you want to use. You know, most times when you're looking at that lower price point, most of the time it's probably going to be because it takes a little bit more work and there's more conversion that's going on in the skin before it can be useful. So that was something that I didn't know, and that was really good to be able to understand. So I decided to choose retinol because it's the most widely known, it's the most accessible, and to me, looking at the different over-the-counter retinoids, it was the one that was more in my price budget. Because, it can get really far up there. And I'm one of those people who I don't necessarily think that you have to spend a lot of money on your skincare, but I do think there's something to be said. So I feel like when you start spending more money, yes, you're buying, the brand name and the packaging, but a lot of times you're paying more money for the experience. You're paying more money for the formulation, for the luxury of it, And because I'm cheap, I'm okay with it not being that fluffy. I'm definitely okay with that. The main reason why I decided to pick up the Ordinary specifically is because, number one, every time I was reading anything, it was definitely telling you that it's better to start low and slow versus just charging in with a high concentration and really using it all the time. So 0.2% was just a nice level for me. And when I get more into the Ordinary, there's several levels that I can go up and still be in the same Ordinary line and still be in the same price point. So I really, really like that. Another reason why I picked the Ordinary, and probably the main reason, is the price point. I mean, let's be honest, guys. It's going to take me a while to be able to see results. Depending on who you talk to, some people say it's 3 months, some people say it takes 6 months. My thought process is that 3 months is probably for that over-the-counter type of stuff. I'm sorry, the 3 months is probably for the prescription-based, and then the longer process is probably for the over-the-counter. So for me, I'm thinking this is going to take me probably about 6 months. And over a 6 months time period, I'm probably going to have to buy several bottles of this. So making sure that it was affordable, something that I could easily afford to keep doing, was really important, because I don't want to use it once and say I didn't see any results when in reality I didn't give it enough time. So the affordability of the Ordinary really was one of the major factors in me picking this. Also, because we know the Ordinary is known for for their quality. They're known for really giving you good quality active ingredients and at a price point that everyone can afford. Now, yes, they take out the fluff and the extra and all that kind of stuff. But for me, as someone who is new to really digging into skincare, I like the fact that I know what ingredients I'm using. I like the fact that this is retinol. It's not retinol and anything, it's retinol. So I like being able to know that I'm adding this specific active ingredient into my routine so I can really judge and really have a clear understanding of what the expectation is for that. I really, really like that. And again, because I'm cheap, I appreciate it. I'm okay with it not being the most luxurious experience I'm putting on my face, as long as I know it's working, right? Like, I don't need all that. Not right now. Like when I win the lottery or something, maybe, but not right now. Not right now. So let's go really quickly to the Ordinary's website and just read about this particular product. So again, this is the retinol 0.2% in Squalane. And as I kind of alluded to earlier, the Ordinary specifically has about 6 different types of retinoids. So they have the retinol 0.2%, which is what I have. Then there's a 0.5%, which would be a step above. And then they have a 1%, which would be a step above that. Again, I love the fact that even in the Ordinary's line, I still have several steps that I can go and still be at an affordable price point and still stay in the same line of products, if at the end of the 6 months I decide that this is a great product and I want to keep using it to see what more that it can do. Now they also have something called the Grand Active Retinoid, and it's also in Squalane, and it's a 2% and a 5%. I'm not going to even touch on that because I'm not too sure and I don't want to come on here and be guessing. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the Ordinary's website. I'll link the Ordinary's website down below because it has some really good information. Plus, I'll link any articles that I read to really get this information, because I am not a dermatologist or an esthetician. I am just an over 35 lady who loves the Google, and she loves Google, and she loves YouTube, and really just trying to figure out just how to age as gracefully as I possibly can. Like that's not claim to fame. So the Ordinary says that this retinol 0.2% in Squalane is highly stable, water-free solution of 0.2% pure retinol. Water-free, nut-free, alcohol-free, vegan, gluten-free, silicone-free, and cruelty-free. Now, it says that this water-free solution contains 0.2% of pure retinol, an ingredient that can reduce the appearance of lines, of photo damage, and of general skin aging. Hey, that's what I need, this girl. While retinol has been studied extensively, it is irritating to the skin, and newer technologies exist that mimic the visible effects of retinol without causing skin irritation. So that's where they start going into their gram active. So this might be something, if you have really sensitive skin, or if you're a little bit more scared than I am, you might want to try there. But I mean, I feel like this is the perfect time for me to just I want to age gracefully. So I'm going to be a trooper. Okay, so it says retinol 0.2%. It kind of gives you almost like this list of the strength and the irritation of each of the retinoids. And for me, the retinol 0.2% in Squalane, it's low strength and it's moderate irritation. So that lets me know that, number one, I'm definitely going to be looking at 6 months down the road before I see any type of results, and I still might see a little bit more irritation than, let's say, if I used the gram active or something like that. But I'm okay. It's okay. Now, it says retinol can cause significant irritation, redness, and peeling. That's what I was talking about. And especially around the eyes and mouth in the early stages of treatment while skin builds tolerance. So just keep that in mind. Most of the time, it's going to get ugly before it gets pretty. But I'm okay with that. It says if you have not used high-strength retinol formulas in the past, we strongly recommend that you start your retinol regimen with the retinol 0.2%, which is what I have, and then kind of adjust up. So your girl was on the right path. Now, as far as how to use, it says apply a small amount to face in the PM as part of your skincare regimen and after water-based serums, but before your heavier treatments. So because this is an oil, that's why it falls after those light ones, but before, the heavier, the creams and everything. And I feel like depending on the formulation you use, like if you had a cream retinol, then, where it falls in your routine might be a little bit different. But I think, the rule of thumb in your skincare is to start with the lightest consistency and work your way to the heaviest. So with an oil, it kind of falls right in between there. And that's also one of the main reasons why I was excited about this, because the fact that the retinol is in an oil makes me feel like it's going to kind of be a little bit of a buffer or a little bit of a diffuser. So maybe it won't be so irritating on the skin. That's what I'm hoping anyways. The downfall is I am not a fan of Squalane. I think I mentioned this before. I just don't like Squalane as an oil, period. It just seems to be one of those that's very heavy and just kind of sits on my skin. Like when I use the Biossance, which is mostly based with Squalane, it just tended to sit on my face. Like when I went to bed, my face was greasy, and when I woke up in the morning, my face was greasy. So it's just one of those oils that don't tend to sink in. Not like maracuja oil does, or not like rosehip oil does. Like it just tends to just sit on the skin. So that would be the one negative to this. Well, besides the fact that it's low strength and it's going to take me the rest of my life. But that was one of the negatives, is the oil that it's in. But it's covering everything else that I was looking for, so I'm willing to give that up to be able to. And I'm going to put a close-up in so you can really see what this looks like. But I did use this last night. I think I'm going to start with 2 times a week. I was going to start with just one, but because this is low strength, I'm gonna go ahead and start with twice a week and see if I can do with that. And if it gets too much, I can always back off, but I think I'm going to start with that. This is actually really nice. I put it on and it was easy to use. It's a thicker type of oil. Like I said, Squalane is a thicker type of oil. And it did go on a little greasy, but to my pleasure, it didn't take long for it to feel less greasy, and it was easy for me to go on top of it with the rest of my skincare routine. Like I didn't have any issues of trying to blend or trying to do any of that stuff. It worked well so far with the rest. It played well with others. So that's definitely a plus. So I'm gonna keep checking in. I think maybe what I'll do is do a check-in at the 3-month, if that sounds good to you guys, and just kind of give some updates, kind of let you know if there's any irritation or anything, although you'll probably be able to see it before. You'll be able to notice it. But that's why also I wanted to come on here barefaced. You guys know I like talking to you about skincare with nothing on my face so that you can see what I'm talking about. But I think a 3-month check-in will be good. And then at the 6 months, we'll have a check-in and see, number one, did retinol do anything for me? And how do I feel about this particular product? Do I want to change to something else, or do I want to just kind of keep going up the line in the Ordinary? So I think that'll be a great experience for me and for you, especially if you are an aging diva like myself and you trying to get real about this anti-aging game. Hopefully this will help you. So definitely, again, comment down below if you've had any experience with retinoids. Let us know the product you were using and your thoughts, good or bad. And let me know if you tried anything from the Ordinary. I hope this information helped someone else out there. If it did, please give this video a thumbs up. And while you're here on my channel, take a look around, see what else your girl has to offer. And if you're liking what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.